Hello, 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 and welcome to Sync Floyd, the podcast where we watch every movie ever made to see if it syncs up with Pink Floyd's 1973 magnum opus, The Dark Side of the Moon. My name is Gareth Blackler, and this is James Barron.
Hi, resident egomaniac James Barron here, reporting on this week's film. But before we get to that, introducing the film, we've got a very special guest.
Yes, much like how in Iron Man 3, there's a kid who is kind of good at tinkering, and then he gets to hang out with Iron Man, who's this great inventor. We have AJ from Cult Popture. Hello.
Am I the kid or the Iron Man?
You're definitely Iron Man.
Yeah.
We're a pair of reckless kids messing around. Our dads left us long ago, and you're our surrogate father, AJ.
Oh, very good. These are lines that I think are in the movie, but when I watched it for this podcast, I watched it on mute and was like, I think there's a joke in here about the kid not having a dad. But all I can hear is Pink Floyd.
Yes. It's what we do.
So our film this week was, of course, everyone's favorite Iron Man movie, Iron Man 3. James, you picked this one. I didn't even realize you liked Iron Man. Can you please explain?
I'm a huge fan of Iron Man. He's arguably the best Marvel hero, Gareth.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. He's the one that kicked it off, right, with his big success in Iron Man 1, was sort of launched the franchise.
I would say Iron Man's my favorite one, but I am open to the idea that he's maybe not the best one.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a good take. I like that.
Yeah, how would you define the best one?
When the MCU first got going, I was quite casual. I really liked Iron Man, but I didn't like Thor. I didn't like Captain America. But I can understand why someone might value Captain America as a hero over Iron Man. But to me personally, Tony Stark I find to be quite a compelling character.
Oh, heck yeah.
Strong agree.
A lot more complicated than Steve Rogers. Not to besmirch Captain America, but I mean, and then you've got all this. That was just the original 3. There's a whole bunch more now. So yeah, I don't know. I really liked Iron Man. I really like all the Iron Man movies, but I do not know why Iron Man 3. You guys gave me so little content, and I was like, "That's fine. That'll be part of the content." So So the joke is you sync up Dark Side of the Moon with Wizard of Oz, right?
That's
the old chestnut.
Yes,
Yeah?
That's the impetus of the podcast.
Of course, and so I think it's a great idea for a podcast.
Thanks.
But I would have thought you would go down a completely different streamline of movies. Your last episode I saw was Mouse Hunt.
Yep.
And this one's Iron Man 3, which gives me the feeling you're really just slingshotting back and forth between any and every movie. And
big time. There is no rhyme nor reason to us selecting films, but it has sort of evolved as the podcast has progressed. I feel like since we choose back and forth week to week, deciding who gets to choose the next film, I feel like we are sort of taking digs at each other at this point, just selecting different films. I don't know. Maybe that's one-sided. Maybe that's just on my part, but
wow.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen James. We're recording in person in Christchurch. I haven't probably seen James since we started the show, and we used to be the best of friends. We hung out this weekend, and I just kept hearing my name and the word movie quality, and then him looking at me viciously, and then we're talking about oh, Gareth's going to choose the music for this road trip with his girlfriend, and then James was just like, well, I've seen what movies he chooses. You're not in for a good time.
just openly sassing you to all our friends.
Yeah.
It's not that Iron Man 3 is a bad movie to choose. It's just such a not Iron Man? Not Iron Man 1?
No.
If it was Iron Man 1, I would never. This wouldn't be something I'd be talking
Yeah.
about. It's Iron Man. And I thought maybe I was like, well, maybe the listening to the album 3 times is a specific length, and you guys have found that movies that are 2 hours and 10 minutes best suit the album. And then I was like, maybe Iron Man 3 actually is listed somewhere as you should listen to. None of this is
No.
okay.
No, you're picking up on... You're giving us way too much credit, AJ, I've got to say.
I apologize.
Clearly not a huge fan of the show.
I will be after this.
Yeah.
I'll listen back to this one.
Oh, great.
Hey, that's all we need.
No, that's the only promise that we need from
Yeah.
you. Speaking of, should we just dive into this film? Because as you said, it's 2 hours and 12 minutes or something. It's fairly lengthy.
Yeah.
It was, by the 3rd repeat of the album, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to happen to you. Yeah.
What is your relationship with the album?
Oh, yeah. We should cover this.
I'm not a music guy. Very nervous to appear on this podcast because my music knowledge is like the way that I scowl at people who don't like movies is the way that music people probably scowl at me.
Yeah.
I'm not that I think it's because I don't understand music. I can't create music.
Oh, yeah.
And so I can create a film approximately.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I understand, and that's part of why I'm interested in it. But I don't know. I'm not a musician in any sense, and so not a big music guy. And also grew up in a repressed Christian household where Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd was, one of the things I wasn't allowed to listen to, I'm sure. Along with AC/DC and who did Stairway to Heaven?
Led Zeppelin,
yeah. These were the bands.
Yeah.
And so, though listening to Dark Side of the Moon, it doesn't feel like it's that satanic.
Not at all.
compared to
It's
something
very
like
soothing
Stairway to
as an
Heaven.
album, typically.
I mean, I had definitely consumed it in the sense that you consume most pop cultural monoliths, but I would say by and large I was not very familiar with the album. I recognized when it was like, "We'll see you on the dark side of the moon."
There
I was
you
like,
go.
I've heard that song
Yeah.
before. And when the song Money started, I was like, I've heard this before.
Yeah.
But that was about it. Everything else was pretty new.
Yeah.
And I watched this yesterday and don't actually remember a lot of the tracks musically, so
That's a real issue with this album. So, like, I think when we went into it, I grew up with the album, but like, even like I own it, but I never really like understood I didn't know what most of the songs were called, and James did. So often he'd be like, "Yeah, then Any Color You Like starts." I'm like, okay, and that's like,
If you say so.
yeah, I'd always assumed that one song just had a ripping long guitar solo, but that's like an entire its own
Yeah, it's
song.
its own track.
Yeah. So it's only really this that now on repeat. We've actually been saying like this album's sort of like lost all its meaning now. to
Oh,
us.
totally, yeah.
Right.
We just sort of feel it in our souls, as it were. More
Yeah.
so, yeah. I'd sort of started judging movie lengths by how many times Dark Side of the Moon would play. I just
You're
got
at
a,
that
got a
level,
feeling
right.
of
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this is about a three repeat movie. Yeah,
It's-
we'd be listening to this right now. Yeah, no, it's ingrained in me.
I don't watch movies if they're not for content these days.
Oh, yeah?
I'm miserable.
Yeah.
I don't watch movies anymore.
Well, this would have been a nice reprieve for you.
Well,
then,
this
sure.
is content. It's still
Well,
content.
yeah, not
Like,
your content. But...
the only reason I'll watch a movie that isn't for content is if it's a new release.
oh,
Yeah.
it's okay.
And in the COVID age, that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Very, very limited opportunity.
And that's always like for life content. That's so like someone's talking about Tenet and you can be like, oh yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
hey.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
All right, let's
All
do
right.
it. Let's dive on in. We got no more preamble. We've covered it fairly succinctly, I think. Let's do it. This movie starts with "Speak to Me" is the track playing, obviously.
Obviously.
And yeah, we get like a brief preview ahead of like all the suits blowing up, etc. We get to see like a flashback to
1999.
1999.
The millennium.
The new millennium is approaching, and
Where Blue by Eiffel
Yes.
65 should have been playing.
Absolutely.
Instead, it was Dark Side of the Moon.
yes,
Yeah.
the wonderful tones of Breathe rolling in. We got Killian, Aldrich Killian, clearly not evil, appearing at this intro here, like approaching a elevator. He's like, I love Guy Pearce as an actor, honestly. I think he's pretty underrated, I would say. Thoughts?
I think Guy Pearce, it's not that he's underrated. I would say that he's got some kind of award nomination in him. Maybe he has been. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's more a question for my co-host Richard from Cult Popture.
Who's to say?
Yeah.
We'll never know. Do the research, listeners. That's from us to you. Yeah, they're working on hacking a genetic code of an organism.
Yeah.
Maya is currently working on that. That's her research, but he wants to talk about some other thing that he's got going on.
AIM.
Yeah. These two eventually end up hooking up off screen, putting together their own diabolical intent. But hey, yes. But Tony doesn't care about that because he's 1999 Tony. He hasn't gone through the hardships of becoming Iron Man at
He's
this
still
point.
a war profiteering billionaire.
Yeah. Major douche vibes throughout this intro. But yeah, wants to basically just get his end away. He doesn't care about this whole stuff going on in the background. And yeah, cut to present day, basically. He says that he created a demon, which is interesting language. But anyway, yes, the helicopter is coming in on the run. We're getting a helicopter shot of the Tony Stark Manor, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
And the helicopter is playing an On the Run, and that's my first sync of this movie.
Right, is that how we do it?
That's
Yeah.
how we do it.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Yep.
Okay, this is what we're in
I've
for.
jotted down some things.
A big
good.
thing we're getting is, because we're so deaf to the music of Pink Floyd, often the little sound effects they have like scattered around are our big syncs now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially in On the Run when it's just mostly sound effects and very little music,
Yeah.
I would argue.
How far are we into the movie?
We are about 6 minutes, 7 minutes ish.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to place where my notes are.
We're very, 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 very
pa-
close to the start.
Are we past the time we're in modern day now?
Yeah.
Yeah, modern day
Day
now.
Malibu.
Okay, well, I've written down taking the sound mix out of the movie really highlights continuity errors.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
you noticed that?
No,
Go on.
what have you spotted?
So when you're editing a film, you can get away with this will be hard to communicate over an audio medium, but say someone's hand is on a book,
Yeah.
and then there's a cut to a wide, and their hand is on their lap. You can either hope no one notices, or you can mask it with audio usually. So you can have the sound of the hand moving
Yeah.
on the cut, and audiences fill in the blank.
Yeah.
When you can't hear that, you're seeing a lot of continuity errors
Yeah.
that are covered by, because music's playing, it's like someone will burst into the room and they're in a completely different position,
Yes.
and things like that, which I didn't notice when I saw this movie last time, which was a year ago.
Yeah,
you go.
I'm getting haunted of noticing that when they're in a slightly different position. It's like there's no way you move that fast. It must actually be this lack of context.
Exactly.
Entourage was full of that.
Yeah, wow, that's Entourage, though.
Martin Scorsese does not give a shit about continuity.
No way.
You watch any Martin Scorsese film, you'll just pick them up. You'll pick up continuity errors by
Yeah.
accident.
Fair enough. He's in it for the story, I guess, more so than
Exactly.
the process.
He's not
of
here for these
filmmaking.
roller coasters.
Nah. All right, let's get back to it. We got what's going on? Tony starts grooving away to On the Run. He's putting together like the Mark 42. Yeah, his new suit, which all flies onto him magically.
Yeah. Is that its only special feature?
I think so. There's a bunch of upcoming suits with special features.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the looks of things, it looks very fragile because it's all coming in separate parts and just attaching to his body. But yeah, I would say, other than that it works as a fully functioning Iron Man suit's pretty good feature.
You know what? Yeah.
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 Spoiled for Iron Man suits.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, we are spoiled for Iron Man suits in this movie. Absolutely. Anyway, he's grooving away as he's trying to get all this suit on.
Yeah.
The crash sound in On the Run right at the end does align with one of these suit parts smashing into a piece of Tony Stark furniture in the background, which is good enough for me.
This is called confirmation bias.
Yeah.
James,
Oh.
and
That's the
This is
subtitle of our
entire
show.
lives, yeah.
ignoring the parts where it doesn't sync up and
Yeah.
embracing the rare ones that
Yeah.
do.
Hey man, we got to take what we can get. We are two men crawling through the desert. We've just constructed our own Iron Man suits that have fallen
Yeah,
apart
yeah.
at the start of
Yeah.
this podcast, and we are desperately trying to reach civilization.
Yeah.
I always I write down and I hate to go back to the Entourage movie, which was our previous episode, that I feel like everyone's going to hate when it drops.
Yeah.
There's a scene when because there's no actual emotional stakes in that movie. Like there's a scene when someone looks and sees a screen, like they've set up a cinema screen, and they there's a big Pink Floyd crash, and I wrote it down oh yeah, this big reveal to this crash. That cinema screen means nothing to the plot, but I was like, oh yeah, Pink Floyd wanted it to.
It meant everything to us, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So another big one that we tend to find is that the clocks going off in time is like a big point in this movie.
So this was great. This
Yeah,
might have
right?
been the best one of the whole
Yeah.
movie. Is the clocks. What's the song called?
It's called Time. So it starts off with just light ticking, and then all of a sudden all these clock alarm
Like alarms
sounds.
and stuff.
Yeah.
That starts as the Mandarin's terrorist manifesto comes on screen.
Bang
and
on.
I was like, holy shit, it's working.
Yeah, right?
And then it worked maybe twice more in the actual film.
That's right.
But that was a nice surprise as someone who's never done a sync watch before. I was
glad.
like, hey, that was pretty thematically appropriate.
Right?
That it started.
Oh yeah.
Fairly jarring sound matching up with the jarring part of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
No, you're not wrong. That was a good scene.
I actually rewound it.
Yes.
I went back, and it's not like it starts and it's like ring and then the video starts. It's more like the ringing starts on a black screen, and then maybe 2 or 3 seconds later the Mandarin's video comes in.
Yeah.
But it's still building atmosphere. And
Yeah.
if that was the actual sound in that part of the movie, it would fit.
Yeah, for
It feels
sure.
like it's cutting straight into the film as well, like interrupting your
Oh, yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
which is-
Absolutely.
Yeah. big matchup with the song there. So proud of that, Sync. Happy there. So he's talking about it's Ben Kingsley here as the Mandarin. Very good. I liked his performance throughout the film.
Yes.
Honestly, yeah, completely unrelated, but got to cover it. Also notably, the Iron Patriot is now the new name for War Machine, which is information. If you've been following Iron Man, as you clearly have before this podcast, War Machine is Don Cheadle's suit. That
James Rhodes, I believe.
Yes, Colonel James Rhodes is his character. Yeah, it's just the same thing, but with a American paint job, as you do. Classic. Love to see it. It does cut to the lyrics of Time as soon as we get these guys meeting in a wee bar, having a chat.
That fit. I thought that fit.
Yeah, the wee Iron Men having a yarn, you know.
Yeah. Is it the first time you hear vocals?
It is
on the album. So I think that works because it's like.
Well, you get vocals and breathe actually.
Okay. Well, it felt like significant to get vocals as we're watching two guys in a bar.
Yeah,
and these vocals are like vocals. Like the vocals for Breathe are like lowercase. They would all be written in lowercase. These ones are in all caps.
I see.
Yeah, hitting you over the head. Anyway, Colonel Rhodes is concerned that Tony's not getting enough sleep. He's like, there's sort of a PTSD kind of theme throughout this movie because Iron Man 3 takes place after the Avengers film.
Correct.
That happens in between the continuity of the two films. I think it's a better film for it, honestly. I really enjoyed this like arc that he goes through.
I love it,
Yeah, it makes a real difference from what you would expect in a typical like Iron Man story, you know.
I agree.
I would have been happy if it would have just been like how someone deals with something that intense happening and there's no like action stakes.
Yeah, right.
I agreed. If anything, to criticize the film slightly, if anything, I would have almost wanted more exploration of the PTSD.
Heck yeah, because he kind of just puts it away.
Yeah. That is the Tony Stark move, though. Like, I kind of get it from a character perspective and that he's like a crazy egomaniac guy. So when he does have these like really intense anxiety attacks and sort of just locks down completely, he just completely brushes that aside with bravado and stuff. So that kind of reads correct.
Well, it's Captain America Civil War which really caps off this story.
Oh, okay.
Because
right.
that's when he acts upon his lessons, which is to make the Sokovia Accords a thing and get the Superhero Registration Act or whatever it's called in the movies. So that to me is ultimately, like, there's a few other things that trigger that, but Tony's journey really begins in Avengers, and I think in Civil War is where you get it, where it reaches kind of a precipice, you know.
Okay. Yeah, because I ended up watching this movie twice this week, once it was out, and I was kind of like,
we sometimes do that. Not required.
We're not
for the
professionals.
podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was kind of like, I wish this feels like this all gets swifted aside for old mate Ultron, and then like it didn't. I was like, I hope this gets somewhere.
Ultron is in the wrong place. Ultron ignores like every movie. It's weird. Like, I remember when I first saw Iron Man 3, at the end, I got the impression he was quitting being Iron Man.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
the vibe you get.
Age of Ultron starts and he's just Iron Man again.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
It would have been cool if, like, in Ultron, instead of them going to Hawkeye's farm, it had been like Tony Stark's farm. And
Hawkeye's farm.
That's what it's called, right?
I love that Hawkeye has a farm.
Yeah.
That
was the best part. Man, maybe I'm just an emotional guy, but that was the best part of Ultron, was like, let's hang out on this beautiful little farm for a bit.
Yeah, as you do.
So, in terms of the order, would you have put Ultron straight after Avengers?
I'm not sure. I think there's a video by Nando V Movies that he did recently that reorders Phase 2.
Okay.
And he essentially puts Iron Man 3 as the final of Phase 2. I'd need to double check. That doesn't quite work for various pieces of continuity which don't line up. But
you'd be able to wedge those in, it'll be fine.
Well, yeah, because Age of Ultron also S.H.I.E.L.D. saves the day, whereas in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, S.H.I.E.L.D. are Nazis. Like, they're revealed to be an undercover, and like it's not like it blatantly ignores continuity. It's more like it's less powerful. It feels like it's backtracking on things.
Yeah.
And so it's less powerful. It reduces the impact of when those things do happen.
Yeah.
Like, they are possible that they could happen. It just feels like it distills the momentum of the storytelling.
Yeah. I guess you could kind of put it in, like, in real life, people make changes and they fall back and they take forever to actually change. But you don't want that in your movies.
No, you don't want that in your movies. Yeah, you're right.
Oh.
All right, let's move on.
Sorry, Dad.
Oh, whip you boys into shape. We got Jon Favreau coming up in the movie.
Yeah.
He's does he direct this movie?
He directed the first two. Shane Black directs this one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He shows up anyway. Here he is. He's called Happy.
Happy Hogan, yep.
What a great character name. It's
Yeah.
like just holdover superhero comic naming, I suppose. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I just want to point out his line that he says about eliminating the human element of human resources, which I just think is
I didn't remember that line.
premium writing there.
I watched this with Dark Side of the Moon playing.
Oh,
so I
right,
couldn't
man.
hear any of the characters.
Did you have subtitles?
No.
Oh, what?
Oh!
Was I supposed to?
Yes.
we
You
haven't done
guys
a-
gave me the sync. It didn't have
Oh, mate,
subtitles
we
attached to
we
it.
attached some subtitles for you, but hey, it's
The
all
subtitles
good.
were wildly out of sync anyway.
It's
so,
true.
Yeah,
That was a
it
struggle
made it
for us.
harder.
Right, I just watched it on the Google
I
Drive.
love
upload.
this. I love this
This
version.
is pure.
Oh wow! So I did it wrong.
Yeah.
I-
No, you didn't do
wow.
it wrong. You didn't do it wrong. You did it the best way.
Yeah, because we've debated. We debated when we started. If we were
Oh,
gonna have
big time.
subtitles or not.
If it was allowed or not
Yeah.
by forefathers, the Floyds.
Yeah.
The Floydsters.
Have you contacted the Floyds about this podcast?
Oh, absolutely.
Are
not.
they still alive?
I'd be-
Yeah. Oh, everyone but the keyboardist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be so worried about them finding out about this podcast and shutting us down.
Yeah.
But,
You don't play the music in it, do you?
No.
no, we
James
don't.
sings
I
it
sing it
perfectly.
sometimes.
That's okay.
Yeah.
The content will get me. It'll they'll recognize my pitch perfect
Yeah,
singing.
and we've written like way too much weird fan fiction about them.
It's true.
In podcast at this point.
Right.
The
Yeah.
lore is deep. Anyway, let's move on then. That's amazing that you didn't watch without subtitles.
Yeah, I want a lot.
I'm
Did
ready.
you-
I'm
Yeah.
ready for the very.
You guys sent me a
interesting
link
things.
to a Google Drive.
Yeah, man.
I opened it and clicked play on the in-drive player.
This is
Yeah.
how we treat our guests.
Oh yeah. You get a message out of me from nowhere. We haven't properly spoken in a while.
yeah, that's true.
And I'm like, hey, and you're like, oh, sweet, yeah, I'll be on your podcast. What do I need to do? And I send you the most complicated list of things to do.
Here you go, mate.
And then you're like, when I have a guest on, I make sure they have the least work possible.
I wasn't meaning it like that. It was more like when you offered an easier solution, I was like, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
better way to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be like, now boys, listen to me, someone who's been podcasting for a little bit longer.
No, I'm enjoying being the rapscallion, people leading you astray, setting you
Yeah.
up to fail. It's very good. Yeah, so we get to revisit from Killian here, Aldrich Killian.
Yes.
Shows up at Pepper Potts's place of work.
Yeah.
Wants to like show off what he's been working on. Does like a weird like hologram thing, very Pink Floyd-y.
Yes.
I thought the music playing under that part felt very ethereal as well.
Yeah,
much
gentle
does
piano
as
stuff.
as the rest of the album does, but it felt appropriate for this hologram sort of augmented reality kind of
Yeah.
situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's over Great Gig in the Sky. There's the
Yes.
track playing then. And we got he wants to like he says that DNA is destined to be upgraded because he points out a spot in the brain that's not doing anything.
Yes.
That's kind of weird. The whole
Feels rooted in eugenics or something.
yeah, that's the vibe that I get. I do like that the crazy superpower thing that's happening in this movie is rooted in good, and that like the scientists are trying to like regrow limbs and like help people out, you know. But like it also turns people like into exploding nightmares, and you can shoot fire out of your mouth sometimes.
In a way, it also ruins the movie
yeah,
because it's the most comic booky thing and what could be a more grounded story. I guess to me, it almost doesn't feel like an Iron Man appropriate. Like it feels more like something that should be in an Ant-Man film.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man's villains are usually more like the robotic arms race kind of dealy,
Yeah.
and not so much regrowing limbs and things.
Yeah, it's sort of
Yeah.
setting you up to fail in a way, and that you think it's going to be all like about the Mandarin, about this terrorist guy,
Yeah.
but then like that's a fake out, you know?
Yeah.
I like that though.
Yeah, that
I
is
love
cool.
that twist.
That's the best part of the movie,
Oh, absolutely, it's great.
which is a controversial opinion for some.
Yeah, but not in this room apparently.
No, we're all on board with that. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, he shows off all this stuff, and Pepper gets like weirdly into him, which is strange. He gives her a wee kiss on his way out, and that's like
He is
ooh.
Guy Pearce.
Yeah, working his Guy Pearce
Yeah.
magic. Anyway, Happy's not very happy about that one. That she returns to the house, and Tony's bought her a massive bunny rabbit. all of this is fairly irrelevant. I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit.
I was going to say, like, how long do you think?
Yeah.
about minute for minute to the movie at this point.
Yeah, no. Okay.
We can be... Weirdly, I think the Bling Ring was our most minute-to-minute.
It was our most verbose.
Yeah, Speed Racer also, because everything is in focus in Speed Racer.
Oh,
I-
God. There's
Everything
so
is
much
insane
happening.
in Speed Racer.
I get why you'd do Speed Racer to Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
The Bling Ring, I do not understand.
Bling Ring worked quite well. Like, emotional states
Surprisingly good.
Okay.
worked pretty
Alright.
well.
Anyway, yeah, we're getting more about him like freaking out post Avengers here. He like can't sleep. There's a really weird sequence where one of his suits comes alive and like pins Pepper down. I don't really know why this happens.
Because he's having a nightmare and his suit realizes he's in trouble and goes to attack the closest thing that it thinks is giving him trouble.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is like a setup kind of for the end of the movie when all the Iron Mans show up a little bit. They're all coming to defend your boy Tony.
Yeah.
All right then. I'll allow that film. Happy's on the trail of his happy trail. He's going
nice.
after Killian, the security guard.
Yeah.
Gets a lot of play in this film. Happy.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Yeah.
More so than the first two.
Yeah. Surprising considering he directed it, but maybe that was just he didn't want to insert himself.
Yeah. He said in interviews that he was way happier just hanging out and acting in it.
Yeah.
He was way happy.
Hey. Nice.
Which, directing a Marvel film doesn't sound like that much fun.
So he made Chef after Iron Man 2.
Such a good
And
film.
Chef is widely considered to be a metaphor for what it's like to be working for a big Hollywood company and then going and doing your own thing afterwards.
Nice.
Because Chef is about a, Michelin star cook who chef, and then who then becomes like a food truck chef. It's about the difference between working for the man and working for yourself.
Yeah, I really like that read. That's awesome.
But then he goes around and like works even more for the man by making Jungle Book. So who's to say?
That's true.
Here you go. Didn't learn his own lesson.
No.
Oh well.
Then he
Wait
made
for
Lion
Chef
King.
2. Yeah.
Chef 2 will be a metaphor for the Lion King's failure compared to the Jungle Book's success.
Yeah. Got
Did Lion King not do well?
To be financially, it did do well. You're right.
Okay.
yeah.
Critically, it didn't do too well
No.
compared to Jungle Book, which I feel has been unmatched by the Disney live-action remake since.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think the Jungle Book
is good.
live-action's good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Beauty and the Beast out of those ones. I thought that one was okay.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You can't really compete with the original
That's the
cartoon,
thing.
I
Who
suppose.
gives a shit about the original Jungle Book?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the crucial element to remaking Disney movies is pick the ones that people don't care about. Don't do Mulan.
Yeah.
Do the Black Cauldron. Actually, people care deeply
Oh my
about
god.
that film.
I would love a live action Black Cauldron.
Black
But
Cauldron
yeah, give it a second chance because it kind of
moly.
went under the radar.
That'd be great.
I saw Black Cauldron when I was like deep in having. This is not an interesting story. I was deep, but it's on a podcast.
Hey,
I was deep in having some sort of like glandular fever or something, and I watched it and I was like, oh my god, I read the book this is based on. It's based on like a series of 1960s books. That they just quickly like discard really immediately.
Well,
So again,
imagine watching Black Cauldron while having glandular fever and listening to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Wow. If anyone out there has glandular fever and wants to hook us up,
Hit us up, yeah. If you can reach your keyboard from your bedside, then definitely run into the podcast at Sync Floyd Pod.
Oh.
I was meaning infect us with glandular fever so we can find out. But yeah, don't do that.
I'd rather not. Anyway.
I might not join you guys for that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we won't inflict that
We'll
one
invite
on you.
ourselves to your house full of glandular fever.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fun. The boy blows up. Happy. The guy, this is the like fake terrorist attack thing. Is he covering up that these drug addict people are blowing up all over the place?
Yes.
It's like a big
I
cover
don't know. I
up.
didn't have subtitles on.
Oh well, it's not very clear whether or not it's like a cover up or if this is intentional. But anyway, yeah, we get a couple more messages from the Mandarin coming in, and then it's like, Tony comes out of the seeing Happy in hospital. He amazingly didn't die from this massive explosion. 3,000 degrees.
Have we passed Us and Them, the song?
This is Us and Them.
Us and Them is playing now.
I've written down a note. When it first says Us, it shows like safe Malibu streets in the Mandarin's video, and then it goes and them, and it cuts to like chaos, people dying. in a war.
Perfect.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, if that's not a statement about opulence,
Yeah.
then what is?
There
Which
you
is
go.
what everyone thinks the Mandarin actually cares about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
And Us and Them also, I mean, it's a long song, so it's easy to get a big plot point happen in there, but it is when Tony kind of declares us versus them against the Mandarin.
That's true.
Absolutely, yeah. He gives them his home address to all these media people, and then like is desperately trying to get out of there because he's close to another like anxiety attack, I think, at this stage. He does his like recreation crime scene analysis thing with like holograms and stuff. This is very
Don't like that scene at all.
No, it sucks. It's completely pointless. Like very much like enhance, zoom in. This is typical of Iron Man films, though. I feel like he does this in every one of them, and it always is.
But
lame.
it's like, what is this? What is this technology?
Yeah.
It can perfectly replicate the minute nuances of a location.
Yeah, he can read the
insane.
dog tag of the guy that died, which makes no sense.
That's better technology than an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. He should be working for the government at the very least. Goodness me.
Well, if you think that, I've got a film for you. Captain America 3.
Oh, I look forward to it. Imagine if we do that one next. We go from 3 to 3.
Oh.
Pretty great. Anyway, okay. Yes, he decides that he has to go to visit a similar explosion location that was in Tennessee, which is where we're ramping up to for the second playthrough of this album. Maya Hansen shows up from the flashback, shows up at the house here. We think she's on side, but she turns out to be evil or something, or working with the enemy. But she sort of doesn't have that much to add to the plot, except for being like...
Well, do you want to know a real sad piece of trivia about this?
Lay it on me.
She was going to be the original villain, so it wasn't going to be Aldrich Killian. And then they were like, oh, girls won't sell action figures.
Oh, that's
Which
disgraceful.
is sexist and also capitalist.
Yeah.
Which sucks, man.
Sucks so
Should have been
bad.
such a good villain. We don't need Aldrich
She would have
Killian.
been amazing.
Like, who's buying Aldrich Killian action figures anyway?
Everyone, yeah, exactly.
Does he like light up from within like a nightlight?
Actually, that would be a sweet
pretty
action
dope.
figure.
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
It would have been so much cleaner if it was just her as the villain and then like...
Oh, it's
fake
yeah,
Mandarin.
absolutely.
yeah. It's also bizarre that she shows up here at the house anyway. Like, it doesn't make any sense because the house is about to get attacked with by people who are on her
Do
side.
we know
I
she's
don't
a
think she
villain
knows
yet?
that though.
I think maybe she hasn't been led in on this plan or something. She just inexplicably shows up. But yeah, because her vibe is that she wants to get Tony on side and like use him and use his money and stuff to fund this technology and fix the problems that are happening.
So the house blows up.
Yeah.
And very disappointingly, the music is nowhere near
Dead
complimented.
silent, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Just
yeah.
gentle like
Soothing scenes over this.
Yeah.
Complete attacks by multiple helicopters firing missiles into the side
Like
of the
there's
cliff.
so many songs earlier on the album that could fit here.
Yeah.
And they're not there.
Strong anti-sync here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Big anti-sync.
Yeah. Yes, there's this fairly run-of-the-mill action sequence here. Like, he gets trapped under some rubble and then, like, sent to the bottom of the sea.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks he's dead.
Pink Floyd do
most
sing
of the
the
next
dam
film.
breaks open and there's a lot of water. Which
There
would
sure
happen if the dam
is.
broke
I'll
open.
take it.
Yeah.
There's when he shoots out because his Iron Man hand comes off and pulls him out, and then he shoots out of the ocean. There is some kind of like in the vocals as he shoots out. But that's it, and nowhere near what I need.
No,
Yeah.
not
To call
good
that
enough.
a good enough sync.
Not good enough, Floyd. Step it up. Step it up, boys. Yes, fly. We get the line, the cloudburst thunder in your ear is when he flies off. Like that. So, yeah, we'll take that. Clouds are on screen. Woo. Yeah, more confirmation bias. Love to see it. Yes. Anyway, he he gets sent to Tennessee because that was like the coordinates that he'd punched in before this whole thing went down, I guess. But yeah, his suit's malfunctioning doesn't work for this album playthrough, basically. And this is easily my favorite like section of the movie.
Yeah.
Like the whole Tennessee stuff, everything going on here, love it. Love it to bits.
Well, because it's what happens when you take the suit away from Iron Man.
Yeah.
And it actually proves to the audience Tony Stark is the hero, not the suit, you know?
Yeah. It's like part of the reason why like the first one did so well, and that it's like this like genius inventor guy gets like trapped and then like figures his way out through like sheer force of will. And then like that's the cool bit. Like everything else, like him becoming a big famous superstar is like sort of, I don't know, that's not as interesting to me. And so it's sort of revisiting what made the first one good, I think.
Yeah. I remembered this film being almost entirely the Tennessee stuff. And it's only one playthrough.
There you go. That's what you remember for sure. He eventually, he like steals a whole like bunch of stuff. He steals like a coat off a wooden Indian or whatever, which is weird. And then meets the wee kid.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
It's a really good name.
Harley. Okay. We'll take, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll say it's that.
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. Ty Simpkins' character.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harley.
There he is. All right. He's pretty good in this. He like is looking up to Tony as like a father figure type.
Yeah.
Knows who he is, obviously, from the whole Avengers thing. But like, and it stresses him out every now and then because he's like, has the mind, he's a child, so he wants to ask about all this stuff, but Tony's not ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know?
And we actually get a panic attack lining up with the alarms from Money.
Yeah.
Which, again, I feel like that song is where whoever originally discovered that Wizard of Oz syncs up. It's because of the alarms at the start of Money. I think is the part
Time,
of,
I think.
Time, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the freakouts aligning with time is pretty good here.
That's
like
what I meant. Sorry, not Money.
Yeah.
Time and Money.
Time clocks do a lot of the heavy lifting. You can discount an entire sync if those clocks aren't working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. He goes to visit like a small town little bar to talk with the lady, the mum of the person who died.
Yeah.
And the explosion. And then, again, this is a really weird sequence with like one of the people working for Killian.
Extremis is the name.
Yeah, that's the drug that they're on, or what they've been injecting anyway. Yeah, there's like a strange fight scene when she's like using her melty heat powers on him and stuff.
Well, very, very comic booky.
Yeah.
Exactly what I want to see paired with gripping tales of PTSD.
It's just such a non-bo, really. It doesn't really... It takes me out of the scene. I like immediately stop listening, basically. We get it is nice that this plays over Time's like rip and solo in the background. We get like the fight scene lining up with that, which is okay. We'll take it. Then the kid gets like captured as leverage for but like uses a little bomb that he's given him to get away. Yeah. This is all very silly comic booky stuff. Like it's like the plot is like being attacked by the villains of the film. The lame villains are coming in and we're like, get away. We're trying to deal with we're trying to actually make a film.
That's comic book movies, dude.
Yeah, man. Oh, God.
Or it's like the script is standing there and bits of Iron Man keep flying in and attaching itself to it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Again, like, so now we get the vibe that they're trying to start like a war with Pakistan and that like we're getting more Mandarin stuff on TV.
Yeah.
He's like murdering like an oil guy for no real reason.
Dad from Even Stevens.
Oh,
not just any oil guy.
That oil guy. So I guess the ultimate plan is that they're trying to he's trying to run both sides of a war on terror. He's trying to like control the government through like shadow manipulation or whatever, and also just fuck shit up for military gain, I guess.
It's really similar to Die Hard, I guess. They're like faking that they care that much about politics.
Okay.
Just for to quote Pink Floyd, money.
Oh, nice.
The famous Pink Floyd quote.
Yeah. This is
you should see me at the bank. I'm just like, I would like to quote some Pink Floyd.
No.
To quote some Pink Floyd. Money.
You slam it down on the table. It's a hit. Oh my gosh. This is when money starts up, thankfully, as well. So we're allowed to talk about it.
So I wrote here, I don't know where we are in the film, but I wrote, money starts bang on, Iron Patriot bursting into the Middle Eastern heart.
He does.
Yeah. Which I also wrote probably the best sync up in the movie.
Yeah.
Which I'd already said for a different one.
For a different one.
but this was the first one where it was literally... It's the only time where it was actually like
on
a
beat.
Burst of sound on the beat as he bursts open a door.
Yeah.
Which the other ones, like I said, the Mandarin one from the start is more like, it feels like it leads into the Mandarin video as opposed to starting on like a smash cut 2.
Yeah.
This was smash cut 2 money, Iron Patriot busts open a door, which also loses points for how like incidental that scene is in the movie.
Completely.
Yeah.
It's not like that's an important part.
It's more or less only there so that like the bad guys can have the Iron Patriot suit. Like now they have that. It's like, okay. It's a very pointless scene really, but Pepper and Maya are like catching up together. They're like Pepper at this point knows that Tony's not dead. She got like a voicemail from him, which is pretty silly. But yeah, they're like catching up on basically both being misled by like egomaniac scientist types, and that like they both have that in common. Yeah, but unfortunately, it turns out that she's a baddie all along, or is working with the baddies, and then it sort of undercuts that whole thing. That could have been a nice scene, or if she was just the bad guy from the beginning and she was playing Pepper, it would have been a way better. Yeah, like, and you didn't know till now, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway. Like, if it would turned out that Guy Pearce's character was just another facade or something, that would be pretty nice.
It's funny how this movie is about a villain being a front and it's just an actor, when that's kind of what happened behind the scenes in the writing of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
Right? As like they are guilty of the writers are guilty of the same orchestration as
That's pretty wildly ironic. I like that take. So Tony's plan, he like figures out where the Mandarin is hiding with the help of this kid and reawakening Jarvis somehow inside the little
and like
suit.
his fanboy as well.
It's not Jarvis, is it? It's because Jarvis is Vision by this point, isn't
No, pretty sure he's Vision
he's
and
not. You're right.
and Ultron.
You did right.
But I do enjoy the sequence of him breaking into the Mandarin's little hotel or whatever where he's staying, the mansion that he's at.
Yeah.
Because it's very like Home Alone Wet Bandit style. He's like made all these like loose fitting like gloves and weapons and stuff out of stuff from Home Depot. I wish there was more of this in the film.
Yes.
Love it. Like, really interesting.
Like a Home Depot Iron Man suit.
Yeah,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
I want that action figure.
legit. Like, yeah, absolutely. It's cool to see it all stripped back.
Yeah. It's so we also this is where we find out that the Mandarin's like a British actor.
Trevor Slattery.
Yes.
So good.
Zero syncs. Nothing musically significant happens during the Trevor Slattery reveal.
Unfortunately not.
It could be seen as like a big orchestration from Pink Floyd, and that like, you know, this big dramatic villain is actually a fake, and like nothing, the story you're being told isn't actually, it's just the easiest thing to follow.
That could be told to you through music though.
Yeah.
Even if it's that it's disappointing, it could be told to you through music.
Yeah.
This is where it was confirmed to me that they didn't have this movie in mind when they made this album.
Yeah. Otherwise, we would have brought out the sad trombones and stuff.
Something musically needs to tell you that there's a tonal shift. And that is not there.
It's a damn shame.
But we all loved the twist, right?
Yeah.
I did, but I've also realized like there's nothing else in the rest of from here on out.
Pretty much.
That I felt synced up in any like cool way.
Yeah.
But that is in itself a talking point. So don't let that.
No. That's fine.
We just end it now.
We're just gonna roll on through then. Yeah. It's like we've got it's just getting caught, strung up by Maya. Like Pepper gets caught, and then Tony's been caught as well. The lunatic is on the grass as Maya's been like flipped sides effectively.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
We kind of get the moment. Guy Pearce is explaining the moment he like cracked. He could be the lunatic. The roof is the grass.
His bad guy speech is so lame. Yeah, and that's honestly, I'm not at all interested in it.
Then after that scene, we get Rhodey, who's been caught at this point, and they're using extremists to heat up the body shell so that it'll come out, and you know, one of a moment begging to sync up with a beat is when he goes right, okay, and opens the suit and then jumps out immediately, starts punching. Nothing, not a key change, not a nothing happens musically over that.
There you go. There you go. They're losing points left and right in this section. Yeah, we're pretty much finishing up playthrough 2 here as well. And we've basically covered off the Tennessee section of this movie at this point.
You're right. The album stops as Rhodey jumps out.
Yes, that's right.
It's dead silent.
But not like it stops and he jumps out with like a kind of a power. It's like it stops, 10 seconds go past of silence. And then he jumps out and it's like, God damn it. This was the moment, guys. This was when something should have started.
What they needed was to move it. If they took, because it's Tony unable to summon his suit because it's not fully charged.
Yeah,
and that's when the album's wrapping up. Then we cut to Rhodey jumping out, punching them, and then we cut back to him still unable to do it. If they'd had Rhodey jumps out exactly when the album ends, that would have been pretty cool. And then if does
the album end on a abrupt though? or does it fade out?
It's a fade out. We
wouldn't-
get
it
a
wouldn't work
fade
then.
out
It
and
wouldn't
then heartbeats and then silence and then more heartbeats as it starts back
Yeah.
up again.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's usually about like a 20-second gap-ish
Yeah, it's a good stretch.
between syncs.
You need an abrupt. If it's the end of a song, it needs to be an abrupt end.
Yeah.
For the punch.
Yeah, you would hope so. But yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately, we're between album plays here. So
Yeah, because what I really wanted, like I had my fingers literally crossed, was that Tony will do his failed attempts all through the silence, and then as soon as that guitar kicks in, the
Nah,
first glove
no
comes
way.
on.
No way.
unfortunately
Nah.
not. No, we're not even that. Yeah, he gets like bits of his suit flying back at this
Yeah.
point. Like he's after like yarning with these guards who are not giving him any shit as
Yeah.
well, which is pretty fun. But yeah, it's just like he's fighting his way through guards, more boring stuff happening. And then, well, you know, it's not that it doesn't align with
Iron
anything.
The next
happening.
scene's cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. He can't fly, so he's like sort of stuck there. They have to take a wee boat with
Yeah.
with old Slattery.
It's so good when he has to walk down the stairs in his Iron Man suit, because he's clearly never done that. And it's
Yeah.
just, like, super awkward.
It's very, very strange. Yeah, so the vice president is on the take.
Yeah.
It's revealed for no real reason, except that like he's just got a kid who's missing an arm, so he wants this drug to be worked out. Or
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
like it's not even important for him to be like a bad guy,
No.
or it's just it's very thrown in.
I also don't know how it plays these days that the president's like this cool guy who they have to save, and they
One
all
of the
get
worst
along
things
with.
about this movie is that the president is like a main action player.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The president, unless under and I'm talking, even if it's fictional, I don't want the president to be like a main character in my movie. The Olympus Has Fallen trilogy do this as well.
Oh, yeah?
Where it's like, I don't need the president to be the main character.
Yeah.
you want them to be like cut off at the
Yes.
neckline, just like a Peanuts mother.
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
don't want that.
absolutely.
Yeah, you don't want to ever see their face.
Yeah. And then you can just imagine, like, oh yeah, it must be my president.
yeah.
Yeah.
They also talk with the like peanut parent voice. Like the
Yeah. This movie, if that had happened.
Wow,
like,
that's so accurate to real life, eh? Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh,
All I hear when current president speaks is
spicy and political takes. Love to see it.
yeah.
This is what we want from our guests.
It is a fictional president. in
Yes,
Iron
true.
Man 3,
It is
Yeah.
true. Yes, he's about to be suspended above some oil for some reason. I just shrugged for the
was a good shrug.
purpose of the
Yeah.
purpose of the
Powerful
podcast.
shrug. It's to be like a fake metaphor. They're like, I don't know, it just needs to
just
look
dunk him in
enough
some oil,
important.
whatever.
So
Yeah.
this is the scene. We're up to the scene where he saves all the people falling out of the
Yes,
plane. Right?
yeah. dropping out of the
great
plane.
scene.
I didn't write any notes for this, which means nothing must
Nothing
have
happened,
happened.
basically. Yeah.
Cool. Might be the coolest scene in the film.
Yeah.
And I've got no musical
Yeah.
sync ups or anything.
It's a little loose that like he connects them all with like electricity, and that like he's like, I'm gonna electrify your hand, and that'll lock
without subtitles on.
lock
that's
your
how it
hands
works.
together.
I assume. I don't know. I said that with so much confidence.
All right.
I think you could probably trust them to just hold on.
Yeah. You would hope so.
But it's a good scene. It's a real, like, this is what being a hero means.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's very creative. It's a creative
Yeah.
way to deal with the plot and the plot problems. Not the problems put on the character that his suit isn't strong enough. It's,
Yeah.
It's good playing with your chess pieces.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's-
They've set it up that it's like gone. They've set the stakes up already that it's gone. This is going to be really tough. It's like a true test of the abilities,
Yeah.
which is nice.
I like it.
And I watched like a bunch of X-Men movies recently, and the X-Men don't seem to care about civilians, and like DC movies, they don't care about the civilians.
No.
I've noticed like Marvel movies, they do go out of their way to actually save people, which I really like.
Actual heroes,
Yeah.
which is fairly important on
Yeah,
screen. Yeah.
Nice.
Bloody old Superman would have just watched them fall and been like, oops.
Oh,
Yeah.
Man of Steel is
Yeah.
what, like 10 9/11s or something in that movie?
Holy
Like
moly!
the damage of, I mean, same with Avengers, but at least, I don't know. I feel
Avengers.
like-
well,
what the MCU is all about, dealing with the repercussions
yes.
of superhero. Like that's what the whole middle act of the phases is about.
Yeah,
so.
man.
Yeah, like Ultron has that huge scene where they go out of their way to rescue everybody, and even
drop
that,
the city.
like, isn't enough
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they don't deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we
You
got?
know who else
after
deals
this?
with consequences? Pink Floyd.
They sure do.
Every note followed by another note.
They're just following their own sheet music. I
Yeah.
think, playing the hits, boys. Oh my gosh, what is happening now? I'm like out of the loop. They're setting up this like big battle scene. They've like suspended the president inside the Iron Patriot suit, which it turns out that he can shoot the little hand bullety things that Iron Man can do. The like compressed magic power or whatever it is. I have no idea. But like the president could have escaped if he knew how to work the suit, I suppose, at any point.
Yeah.
But whatever.
He's elected to lead, not drive the suit.
Yeah. Also, Guy Pearce's reason for killing the president and the people being okay with that is like pretty lame in of itself as well. Like it's like, here's a war crime, like, oh, like it's like it blames it like on an oil spill. I think, which is like enough reason to kill a president.
Well, that's what the fictional Mandarin would say is enough reason. Yeah,
right.
But it's really just to get him out of the way because the vice president's on the take.
I've written down here that we're at the climax of the film now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all the Iron Man suits arrive.
They're all rocking up.
They all rock up to fight the Mandarin, the real Mandarin, which is what Guy Pearce says he is.
Yeah. What a wild line.
And the Iron Man suits all arrive in kind of that hero shot during the female vocalist's cries at the end of the great gig in the sky.
Yeah.
And that's the last... I said before there's nothing else. That's the last, like, sync, quote-unquote, that I matched up. Was like, maybe this is enough.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
a
not
pretty...
on cue,
It's a pretty heroic moment.
Yeah.
Everyone flying in the night, like, singing of the female vocals.
However, then we go into Money, which is a song so unfit for a climax.
Yeah.
That's a middle of the movie song.
Super is.
That's here's the plan.
It is long enough to basically cover this whole sequence.
It is the worst song on the album that could be playing during the climax.
I would agree.
Yeah. I was going to stop you a few words sooner. I'm so over Money.
Fair enough. You think Pepper dies because she falls into the flames, which has been drugged up with extremists, so she survives.
So she's fine.
But you see her fall, and the music here thematically should be like, but it says like,
just some slapping bass lines.
It is a unfortunate lining up.
Yeah.
In a way, it's almost as impressive as a sync because it's the one part of the album you wouldn't want to be hearing over the climax. We've had a few big moments. This is the last action set piece.
Yeah. Would you say that these anti-syncs would undercut the syncs that you've seen so far enough to like?
It is such a hilariously out of place song to be playing during that scene. That it is as bad as the syncs that do work are good.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
We're on 0.
Oh, wow.
A clean and even 0. I like to hear that. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a final confrontation basically between Tony and Guy Pearce. Rhodes like saves the president.
Because Brain Damage is the song with Dark Side of the Moon, the lyric.
Yeah, the lyric,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
I wanted that playing during somewhere, because I like that song.
Yeah.
Having heard it and being like, I've heard this somewhere before. I liked it, and I love me a title drop, right? So I always get chills being like, that's the name of the and so you want to hear that when, I don't know, when the Mark 42 flies on to Killian and kills him. Like imagine if he blows up to "See you on the dark side of the moon."
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. But we don't get dark side of that
lyric
we don't
till
get
the
fucking credits.
Yeah, so midway through the credits. Yeah, very sad.
Yeah.
Also, like and undercutting what you just said with the suit flying onto him and killing Killian doesn't kill him. Like he shows up.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That is such a good death for the character.
Would have been great.
It's full circle with the whole suit subplot. It's great, but it doesn't actually kill him. And what kills him is Pepper knocks him out.
Yeah.
After he rises up again, which feels less powerful than the suits blowing up. Both like thematically, it's less powerful. Physically, it would be less powerful, right? So I agree. I thought that it was a waste to have him have one final. Attempt
it's kind of I got major fatigue of being psyched out with character deaths. It's like he's dead. No, he's not. Pepper's dead. No, she's not. Like it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's like, did you guys ever watch Shinzo?
What?
Shinzo was a classic 4:30 p.m. anime.
Right.
Like I vaguely remember. It might have even been called Shinzo. But like they had a big battle, and like every episode they'd figure out a new power to defeat this one guy.
Right.
It wouldn't work, and then they're just back where they started. I'm like, well, see you tomorrow. This is
Tomorrow on Shinzo.
I'd forgotten Shinzo
Life
for
is
maybe
endless
12
disappointment.
years. Hey,
oh my gosh. I need to check out Shinzo. All right, we're nearly at the end of this here film. Let's do it, boys. Yeah, there's just like very much the wrap up thing. Tony's like speaking over the top of the sequence. It's all he heals Pepper's problem. He like works it out easy as.
Yeah, that's
if he just put some effort in, he could have solved everyone's problems back in '99. But hey,
he throws the arc reactor into the ocean.
Yeah.
Clearly indicating the character is retiring Iron Man,
Yep.
unless to be pulled back into the fray in a scene which would be very important and significant to see on screen.
That would have been nice, having that payoff.
Joss Whedon clearly didn't see
No.
any of Phase 2 before making Avengers 2.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. Yes, we're getting into... Yeah, so he throws his wee light bee away into the ocean. He says, you can't take away the fact that I'm Iron Man, and then we get the credits. But, of course, this is a Marvel movie. So
And I was so ready to turn it off, and then I was like,
no, not allowed.
There's a post-credit scene. I need to see what's happening over the post-credit
There you go.
scene.
We get the full playthrough of the album. We get all the way to the end of playthrough 3 with the album.
Yeah.
And playthrough 4 starts dead on the post-credits scene.
Yeah,
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. I wrote no notes. Post-credit scene.
And to be fair, the start of the album is pretty quiet. It's just
Yeah.
like the heartbeats coming in and then
Yeah.
Speak to Me playing. I think we get like 2 seconds of breathe or
We
something.
get exactly when the guitar kicks in is when Bruce Banner throws his head back in like
Right.
exhaustion. Much like we probably felt.
Yeah. Woo, takes it out of you for sure. Yes, Bruce Banner's like acting as psychiatrist, and he's been telling the story, I guess, to him this whole time.
Which is, I think, because like I know I went into it when it first came out, like, yeah, the Avengers, they're all going to get back together secretly in this movie. It was good that it was just character, and then like you get your one cameo at the very end.
Yeah.
Though as far as post-credit scenes go, it's one of the most
Pretty dull.
economically useless.
Yeah.
Right? Because usually a post-credit scene goes, here's your first look at Black Panther, here's your first look at Guardians of the Galaxy. This was just a joke, which is always the most disappointing kind of post-credit
Yeah,
scene.
there's nothing
Yeah.
going on. I would have been annoyed waiting in the cinema, which I almost definitely did.
Yeah.
Like for this to like only see, oh, it was Bruce Banner. Like, cool, okay,
Yeah.
you know.
I remember being in the Guardians of the Galaxy post-credit scene, and someone in our group of like loose acquaintances who are into Marvel just going, really? And then a stranger in the back of the audience going, yeah, really?
That's a great
Very
cinema
fun.
interaction.
I'd heard tell that Spider-Man Far From Home had more than one post-credit scene, and so when the first one played, someone in front of me got up to leave after it finished, and I was like, bro, there's more. And he's like, is there? I was like, yeah. Like, whenever someone leaves during the credits of a Marvel movie, it's like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You don't know how to fucking
You
watch a
ever
movie.
been on the internet?
You piece of shit. You don't know how to watch a movie. The way you watch movies is you stay to the end of the credits
Yeah.
to see the new scenes, to see what happens next time.
Yeah. To get the bonus trailer.
You
Absolutely.
idiots. You
fools.
fools.
On that note, I did leave Avengers before the post-credit scene, and I had to watch a cam rip of the like Thanos reveal.
Oh
Wow.
no.
Yeah.
You
I
needed
was so
AJ there
mad.
telling you that you're
Yeah.
a
You
complete
idiot.
fool.
You fool.
All right, speaking of being fools, what did you think? How did it sync?
Is that what you say every episode?
Every
It's
episode.
good,
That's
right?
a good line.
Oh,
It's so
thanks.
good.
That's a good line.
Yeah, what would you rate this film out of 10 in terms of how it's
Yeah.
synced up with
Zeroed.
Pink Floyd? Big old zero?
Well, I don't know. This is the only one I've done it with.
Yeah.
True.
And there was a couple of cool moments, but overall, I was very exhausted, especially with no story happening, with no subtitles on. And with the moments that did match up felt relatively trivial.
Yeah.
I was so delighted by the alarm sounding on the
Yeah.
first Mandarin tape
Welcome to our show,
that
man.
I was like, oh shit, maybe what? Oh,
Yeah.
and then to be just maybe slightly amused by whenever it maybe happened for insignificant moments for the rest of the movie.
Yep.
I enjoyed being on your podcast, but
Phil.
I did not enjoy the experience of watching Iron Man 3 synced up to Dark Side of the
Well,
Moon.
thanks very much, and we're so sorry.
No, this is podcasting, baby. Gareth's been on my show where he had to watch all of the Ear Buddies movies.
Well, there
there
you
are
go.
7 of them. That's worse than what you guys made me do. So I am very much still indebted to you guys. Don't worry about it.
I don't know. I feel like we can call the podcast debt paid.
Yeah.
You know, the blood oath is complete.
Yeah.
Our problem I found that is we don't tend to take points off for bad syncs
No.
or
Right.
anti-syncs.
Right.
We're very generous on our show.
Well, and that we've never gone higher than an 8.1 or something.
Yeah.
What was 8.1?
Moon was probably our highest rating.
Yeah.
I can imagine Moon being a good one.
That was
Yeah.
transcendent. Episode
Really?
2
Wow.
of
What
our
was
show
episode one?
was episode 1 was The Room.
That's episode. That's episode 100, guys.
No,
No,
man,
no,
we're
no.
setting it up.
I had dreams because I wanted to do this for a while, and it was just like lockdown maybe kick into it.
Yeah.
But like I had dreams that it would actually sync, and I'd be the one who figured out that was Tommy
Right.
Wiseau's plan. I'd even prepared the press releases in my head, like, dear the spin-off, dear the Herald, like this is what you're missing, and then it was a 6, and we're like,
That would be
No one
amazing.
cares.
That would be a great thing to figure out. There is a website which lists albums that go next
Yeah.
to
Yes.
movies.
but
which
that's
is
all just
interesting.
one guy and his confirmation
Right.
bias.
Yes.
Yeah.
Notably a website we have no affiliation with. I'd like to state for the record.
Do you reckon you'll do Wizard of Oz at any point?
I feel like
Yeah.
we have to, but we'll save it for a milestone, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a milestone episode.
Yeah. Well, do we agree with this 0?
I want to be a little bit nicer and give it like a 1 or 2. Like it
Surely
wasn't.
this isn't the worst one.
No, it's definitely not. It's not
Yeah.
deserving of an absolute 0 at
Because
lowest
the
grade.
vibes were there. Like it felt like this
Yeah.
could have been the score in its own simple way.
Yeah.
Like not a good
Plus,
score.
Iron Man does have a relationship with this era of rock and roll.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
So with
I feel like there's definitely been a Pink Floyd song on one of their soundtracks before.
There's a Pink Floyd song in Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's
and
it.
AC/DC's the score or the sound
Oh,
of
yes.
the
Yeah.
soundtrack for Iron Man 1. So
All right.
I'll push it. Because we gave a 4 to Groundhog Day, which had the clocks when the first day started.
Oh,
no
yes.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was awesome.
pretty cool.
And that only got a 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then nothing else.
There's very little else.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say like 2, 3. I want to put it at. I was
Okay.
like not a strong sync, and like we've got to average it down with AJ here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Put
don't
him
let
in-
me throw the average off, though.
Everyone is
You're the movie
contributing.
watching professional.
Yeah, I trust your judgment than I trust my own. So
Alright.
yeah,
All right. Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay. Let's give it a 2.5.
yeah, mark it on the graph.
Okay. What's left is we now surprise each other with the film we're going to watch. But I'd like
Yes.
to chuck it to you. What
Oh.
film would you want us to cover next?
All right, do you want a good one or a bad one? I'm looking around the room for inspiration.
Honestly, it doesn't matter.
Honestly,
We
I
will
feel
watch
nothing
anything.
about a movie. No.
Have you done Children of Men?
We haven't done Children of Men.
No.
That's a great pick.
I feel like that would be a good one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
That's my pick. Children
All
of
right.
Men.
Happy to lock that one in.
5
There
Owen.
you go.
Yeah.
It's one of my
I like to say one thing I know about it.
Have you not seen it?
I've seen it.
Okay.
I think Bart Bass from Gossip Girl's in it as well.
Okay.
He's like
Alright.
the youngest person.
Right. I love that movie. One of my favorite
Oh,
films.
cool.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, until then.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want?
Oh, yes. You
our
got to do your
listeners to know
plug.
about?
Oh, yeah. Check out Cult Popture. It's my podcast / YouTube channel.
It's very good.
The podcast we do, me and my buddy Richard, we watch a different film franchise every fortnight, which we've been doing for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
And we have covered everything from Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants to Godzilla to
Yes.
last week we did Herbie. We're doing
Oh,
The
wow.
Godfather now.
Nice.
So much like you guys, we slingshot back and forth
Yeah.
in movie quality, but ours actually is decided at random.
Yes, you've got a wheel.
There's a roulette we do, whereas the intention behind you guys specifically choosing a movie makes me concerned for your mental health and like what's going on.
Yeah.
But hey, that's podcasting, baby. You got to be a little
Yeah.
bit crazy.
We'll definitely take that under advisement, AJ. Thank you very much for being on the show. Definitely
Yeah.
check out Cult Popture Podcast.
Yes.
It's a great
so good.
great
It's
show.
so beautiful to know like a movie you vaguely like you remember from your childhood and where the franchise went. Like, you're like,
Oh yeah,
really?
we did Land Before Time.
Yes.
So good.
13 Land Before Time for 14, I think. I can't remember. They're all bad as well. The first one's not even good.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Is that your lowest rank? Because you ranked the.
We ranked them. The lowest one currently is Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, we've seen one of those.
The Dungeons
films,
and Dragons
just in our
trilogy.
lives.
Oh, nice.
And I think Land Before Time is second lowest.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
Wow. And what's the perfect franchise?
Toy Story, I think, is currently
Yeah,
the reigning
I'll
champ.
give that.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair and true.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
cool.
Followed by I think Back to the Future is second, and Mission Impossible is third.
No way.
Mission
Wow.
Impossible has the most encouraging Rotten Tomatoes scores across because you're used to seeing Rotten Tomatoes trajectories and it's like 80%, 60%.
trend
30%.
downwards. Yeah.
Whereas I think the at approximately Rotten Tomatoes for the 6 released Mission Impossible films are like 65, 40, 80, 90, 95,
Wow.
97, something like that. Like it's like it goes down a little bit in the beginning, but 3 to 6 are all they just get better.
Yeah, you're in for something good.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome.
Oh,
Oh man! Well, I hope the episodes of our podcast also follow that trajectory.
yeah.
All right,
There you go.
we've taken up enough of your time, AJ.
All
Thank
good.
you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Until next time, I've been Gareth Flackler.
I've been James Barron.
And we'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
On the dark side of the moon.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.